Welcome to Art of Awakening, Journey to Your Genius Zone. This is Ona Christie, your guide, and welcome back if you've been following me. Just an energy update today for the week of November 17th, and I have a little clue as to what's coming. This is a little gift from my dog. We'll see you out there in the woods.
So, Jasmine and I want to welcome you to this week's energy update. And Jasmine has a very special, um, very special message for you. Is that it is shedding season? Take a look. um, been shedding a lot, and it's no wonder. It's the time of year for her, of course. But it's also Scorpio season, and the leaves over the past few weeks have totally disappeared. Well, there's a few that are still on there, but really the leaves have shed, the animals are shedding, and I have noticed that a lot of people right now are shedding as well. What do I mean by that? It's really a time, of course, the fall season in the Northern Hemisphere really encourages us to go within, a lot of introspection, and it's a preparation really for the new, whatever new is going to come out of this past year into the new cycle. And a lot of times, especially like right now, there's just so much energy coming in to support the new, and it just, a lot of us are just being required to go to even deeper levels of shedding what's not serving us. And I know many of us have been through years of this lately. It's another big kind of shedding cycle for many of us, and it's not always easy, it's not always fun, but it does really open us up to stepping into our own genius zone, our own purpose, our own, what we're here to do, the mission that we came to Earth to fulfill. And so, what does shedding look like? I mean, it honestly, anything in your life. I mean, it can be moving. It could be like a new home, just getting rid of, just stepping out of, if there's a place where you're not able to function to your highest, right? And it can be really hard to move. We have emotional bonds with the land, with the earth, with even the buildings that we live in. But you maybe be called to do that. It could be, of course, relationships of all sorts. It can be shedding parts of yourself, right? And this is sometimes, death of a certain part of ourselves that we've identified with. This is really purifying one's identity. Really feeling into what is really true for you, not whatever patterns that you've picked up, or survival patterns over a lifetime sometimes, and realizing, sometimes it's time to just let those go. Warrior patterns, particularly, the kind of I'm going to stick with this if it kills me kind of mentality. The kind of, the loyalties that develop on the battleground are there for survival reasons, but sometimes it's like we need to recognize that sticking in something for the sake of somebody else, if it's not really helping us to be the best that we can be, it's not serving the other person anymore either, right? Because it's really a matter of trusting, trusting that it's taking the right actions for you is going to be best for the whole. So I received this really beautiful message from the stream yesterday that I want to share with you, and it was telling me about circles and how you're never behind. It said you're never behind, that you can jump on and off the circle, or the wheel, right? And as you need to. And it puzzled me at first because I'm like, well, if there's anything that's linear, it's a stream, right? It goes from one spot to the other. You can follow the stream. It's very, very linear. But then as I really sat with it, it started really to make sense. It is talking about circles and cycles because it was asking me and us to really take a step back and look at things from a more holistic perspective, because every stream, every river, every body of water is part of and one with the entire water cycle. And here we go. We talk about water cycles, and the water circulates. And this stream, I'm just pointing now, the stream is emptying right here into Lake Superior. We're right at the mouth of the stream, and you can see the lake beyond there. And from there, and all along the stream, it evaporates and goes into the clouds, right? And then it falls as rain or snow, and it cycles around. And this water, any particular drop of water in the stream may have been, part of the Amazon rainforest. It may have been in the Siberian, tundra area. It may have fallen as rain there. It's been around, and it's any particular molecule of water will have exited. It's not necessarily going to go from the beginning, the spring, or wherever the stream started to the mouth of the stream. It cycles around in its own way. So I think what the stream is really wanting to point out is that we each have our own individual journey. And sometimes it's like we have mapped out in our mind, even if our soul knows our destination, if you want to call it that. I mean, it's always a journey, but our soul knows, what our highest timeline is. But sometimes as we're working through things, it's not necessarily going to look like a straight path there. And sometimes we get called off apparently in another direction, but it's trusting that, nature, that the universe has a bigger picture in mind, and that, sometimes we follow these alternate pathways, like even these drops of snow, right? These flakes of snow here, they've been through that water cycle. And so it's not always even going to happen in this lifetime, right? So it's an invitation to take a step back and relax a little bit, that we don't have to do it all in this specific period of time. We don't even have to do it all in this lifetime. And in fact, we've got a lot of timelines going on at once. I mean, because we've got the linear time here, and then we've got the all at once time, which would be like all the water in the world, right? All the water in the world, the whole water cycle. And that's happening at the same time as this stream is merrily chugging away on its journey, right? And we are being one with the universe. We're doing both. We are the stream, but we're also the water cycle. And I'm hoping I'm making sense here, but it's really when you start stepping back and thinking in terms of the whole, it really puts it in perspective, and it lets you relax a little bit into, okay, well, this all fits into the bigger picture. So all these things that I've been shedding, all these things that I'm being asked to let go, I'm not just Xing them out. They're still there, and I'm still with them in some ways. Like, you can never actually let go of anything, honestly, but you can transmute it. Just like, you can't get rid of energy, but it can be shifted from one form to another. Like, think even we're looking at liquid water here. We're also looking at frozen water, the snow, and we're looking at vapor and the clouds. Okay, this is all part of the water cycle, but it's been transmuted from one to another. So those things that we're letting go, we're actually taking that energy that was in those relationships or those things, and we're transmuting it into something that's going to be better serving us at this season. Okay, so I think that's, a beautiful lesson from the stream, and probably enough for today. So let's go back into the studio, and Jazz and I will take you back, and we'll pull a few cards for the week, and we'll call it good.
Hey there, welcome back. And I'm going to be doing a little bit of just pulling a couple cards here. And while I shuffle, I just want to thank you to those of you who have ordered Soul Essence paintings. I've got a big block of time scheduled this afternoon. I'm going to get started on some of those. And so I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to do that for you. Also, I just got another download before turning this back on about the message that just came through from the stream. And it's really about with the shedding, it's really important to remember, there's a lot of emphasis on letting go, letting go, letting go. But letting go, we only let go, right, so that we can open to receive. So really, if we shift the focus from the letting go, which is often painful, to the receiving, which is usually, if we're receiving, we're going to be receiving things, the point is to receive that which is really going to serve us, really going to bring us onto our path, really going to open things up for us. And so to really shift the focus from the letting go to like, what is coming in? What is the new thing that's coming in? It really shifts to a positive way. So sometimes what happens is, we're in this process and the universe wants us to step into our own truth. It wants us to fulfill our mission. That's why we end up getting these situations that are so painful. It's because we're clinging to the familiar, to those comfort zones, what I call zones of seductive discomfort, right? We cling to them. And sometimes it's like especially when we decide at some point, at some level, even if it's unconscious, our soul decides that it's time for us to move forward with our purpose, then, these things start happening and we start shedding the stuff that doesn't serve us. And the more we can realize, okay, this stuff is happening because I need to just really open to receive what's coming, the new, the beauty that's mine, the abundance that's mine, and accept and receive that, yes, we're worthy, of course. We're part of nature. We are nature. All of nature, it simply accepts and receives what is due to it. You don't see a squirrel saying, I'm not good enough for that nut, right? They go out and take it. So what happens is sometimes it's like especially when we have an idea at some level of what it is that really is ours, that we really do want to manifest. And things will start to change when that happens, because that's the universe shifting in response to your thoughts, to your idea, to your goal, if you will. And so, but it's not always going to happen the way that we think it's going to, and it doesn't always happen in a linear fashion. Okay, it's because, of course, the universe really exists all at once, right? So we may tap into that new abundance at different points along the line, and it seems to us like it doesn't make sense. Or we start getting the abundance in, and it's not like exactly how we'd envisioned it, because it's a piece of it, right? And so part of us, we want to reject it sometimes. It's like, oh, I had this vision, and it's not this vision. Well, it may be a piece of the vision. It may be a little part of that vision. It may be even an important part of that vision. We're like, no, I don't have time for this right now because I've got this, this, and this, because we're grasping onto what we are familiar with, right? This is where the money's coming from. This is where whatever, right? We hold on to it. Or we hold on to those old um, belief patterns like I'm not good enough, or um, whatever it is, holding on to, I've got to stay in this relationship, right? Or I've got to keep this job because because this, that, and the other. um, Instead of realizing, okay, well, this is part of my dream, this is part of my dream, and receiving it. It's like, okay, well, this maybe didn't come at an opportune moment, but it is part of my dream. Thank you, thank you, thank you. um, and like, how else, what else is going to be shifting here in order to assimilate this? That's one scenario. Or so all sorts of things. So just keep that in mind as we go through this shedding, this shifting process. Is that sometimes things that we also things that we love, it can be beautiful things, it can be really good things that we're being asked to let go of. Like, I recently handed over the keys to a local lightworkers group that I'd started and was very emotionally invested in, and that was going really well. And it was just spirits like, no, you got to focus on this other thing. And it was kind of hard to let go of, but that's what happened. And now there's two people that are taking it over. It's still going on. It's still serving the community, and it's really opening up journeys for them, as well as allowing me to go on to the path that I'm meant to go on. Having to do the same thing with my other business, starting to hand over the keys. It's not easy. I mean, it's like giving up a baby, right? Handing it over. But there's so much beauty and so much beautiful new things. I'm really feeling more abundance coming in once I let that go. So, all right. So here's the first card for this coming week. It is Bear, and whenever this time of year, especially, I think of Bear, it's really it's the cycles again. Okay, and it's allowing things to happen in their own time. And especially this time of year, it's really um, respecting your need to rest sometimes. Like, it's like we can't keep going full bore all the time, which our society wants us to do. And especially going to the holidays, we're going to be asked to be active and more active, and going to parties, and shopping, and all this stuff, food preparation, and all this stuff, hyper at a time of year where nature wants us to really just, whoa, settle down, hibernate for a little bit. Okay, so there's this, kind of friction that can go on sometimes, and that's why it's so many people get depressed this time of year. Okay, so just like breathe and let go of whatever doesn't serve you. If you have a family tradition and it makes you like, if it makes you stressed out to have to do this family tradition, even if it's something that's dear to your heart, it's like, think about it. Maybe it's something you can let go or adapt in some other way this year, right? And it doesn't mean that you have to let go of it forever. Maybe maybe next year it'll be like, oh yeah, that'll be great, we'll do that, and it'll be just like old times, right? But maybe this year it's like, okay, maybe not, right? And like, don't feel you have to go to every holiday party. Maybe the whole gift giving thing, maybe it's a little much, right? Maybe think of other ways. We've got a white elephant gift exchange in our family that we started doing a few years ago. Everybody loves it, and everybody's relieved of this whole, oh my god, I've got to like spend all the time shopping for everybody, and I got to spend all this money and time and whatever. So we all, it's white elephant, and it's just become, we all laugh, and it just has brought a lot of the joy back that the gift giving is supposed to do, right? But by taking some of the stuff. So whatever you can do to make this holiday season easier, and don't feel guilty or ashamed about letting go of things. You don't have to do it the way it's always been done. And just think in terms of what's going to bring in the most joy, what's going to bring in the laughter and the connections that the holidays were supposed to bring in. I'm going to pull another card here. This is Raven. Um, Hmm. Open to the magic. Open to the magic. Receive. Right? The world is magical, right? Magic is just a name for, things that we don't understand, but the world does work in magical ways. And, even just go out in nature, you're going to see multiple magical things. And magic's all around us. And I'm talking magic in the good sense, the beautiful things that happen. Um, Open to it, like the Christmas holiday, Yule, however you want to call it, solstice season, really is a time of magical things happening. So look forward to that. And I'm going to pull one more card here. So the magical things are going to be happening in this new decade coming up. It's so exciting, right? Dove. Here we go. Love it. I think this came up last week too. So, just whatever brings you peace, that's the right decision. Whatever brings your heart peace. And also to make peace within yourself about the decisions that you need to make. Again, sometimes the shedding stuff is not an easy thing, not an easy journey. So really, it's like once you've realized that something needs to be let go, um, and realize that it is for your own, to keep you in alignment with who you are, then accept that. Forgive yourself, right? Forgive yourself. The forgiveness is really, really important, because it's important that as we move forward with our life, with our purpose, that we do so with a peaceful heart with ourselves. Because if we're holding on to unforgiveness, if we're holding on to guilt and shame and doubt, right, you're not going to be asked to let go of something if there's not a good reason for it, if it's not aligning with you. Okay. So first of all, like, don't let go of things without really feeling it through, right? But you really want to feel into your own heart the honesty that's there, and be really honest with yourself. Is this, whatever it is, if holding on to it is really going to move you more into your truth, or is it going to move you more into anxiety land and tightness? Okay, and the answer may not be what your mind wants. Okay, it may be painful. The answer may be painful, right? But it may require a lot of forgiveness. You may have to ask forgiveness of somebody else. You may have to ask, you may have to forgive somebody else. You may have to forgive yourself. But through the forgiveness, coming into that place of peace, that place of peace is where we can move forward from. Okay, and this is also associated with this season coming up, with the solstice, the Christmas, the Yule, is the coming of peace into the world. And from that peace, that's really coming into the stillness and listening, and the honesty and the truth of who you really are, what really does serve you, and really making peace with who you are, and beginning to love yourself. And from there we go into the new, and going into the being able to receive that abundance. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this week, and if you know somebody that this would help, please share it with them. Love your comments as always, and have a wonderful week. We'll catch you again next time.